for me, I just feel vindicated. I feel vindicated because I've been calling it out for weeks on end. People thought I was trolling Arsenal. Now I hope they understand me a bit more. I am trying to help. Go out in Jan and get a striker, and you will be fine. Fail to get a striker in Jan, and there is no way that you can say that your club is better. At least Tottenham is doing the right thing, even if we're not up there. You know what I'm saying? Can I just say this? Can I say this, though? Because I might as well. Tottenham's having a bad season by our standards. We can all agree. I'm looking at LB. I'm looking at Dan. It's not a season for us to be shaking our bum about. But should the weekend go how I expect it to go, bearing in mind Arsenal fans have been pretty satisfied with how they've been doing this season, Spurs will be 1 point behind Arsenal. Can you imagine that, ladies and gentlemen? 1 point behind Arsenal. We've literally conceded 1 goal more with the high line. Can you imagine? We've not sat back in any game and we've conceded 1 goal more than the invincible back four of Calamari, Shiver Me Timbers, Saliba, and Gabriel. If that ain't telling you that there's problems at that club, I don't know what is. When I was telling people that Tottenham squad, when I'm talking about the bench, is better than Arsenal's, I was laughed at. We can bring on Richarlison. We can bring on a Bentancur. We can bring on a Pape Sarr. These brothers bring on Raheem Sterling and Martin Elliott. I mean, I give up. Them 2 brothers are equivalent to Timo Werner. That's what it is. They've got 2 Timo Werners and we've got 1. So good luck. Good luck, Dan. I hope that you, man, fix up. I want you guys to do well for the sake of, for streamers, for content creators. It's fantastic. It's fantastic streaming. But Arsenal has been looking suspicious from day one. And Bournemouth was basically the symptoms coming to roost. And I think you could be in for a lamping this weekend. As for me, I'm not a betting man, but I've already been down my local for 4-0 Liverpool this weekend. 4-0.
Done trolling now, Dej. Done trolling now, Deji. I'll tell you. Where was this when Spurs were losing to Brighton after being 2-0 up? I didn't hear Deji with all this chest. He was quite quiet about it. Now all of a sudden, he's smashed up West Ham and Spurs are back. Spurs are back. They're going to be a point behind Arsenal. Rah, rah, rah. Better bench than Arsenal. Rah, rah, rah. Richarlison, man said Richarlison and Werner. Dear me. Oh, my word. I'd rather bring on Sterling and Jesus than those 2 clowns. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. Because I was trolling, because I could see with my eyes. I weren't sitting there trying to do a Stevie Wonder or a Ray Charles. The truth is, that style of play isn't sustainable. Is Arsenal going to sit back and hope for a Gabriel header against Liverpool this weekend? Is that what they're going to do? Because if you don't come out and try and win the game, that's another risk that you're taking. The same risk you took this weekend against Bournemouth. Then what are you going to do against Newcastle? Are you going to sit and hope for another Saka corner and Gabriel header? Because if that header doesn't go in, then what? And that was the question I asked from the North London derby. But everyone shook their bum, tried to persuade me that Arsenal, it was a tactical masterclass. Really? Then explain the tactical masterclass against Bournemouth. I'm just trying to help peeps. I know people in the chat don't like it. When you're really deep down and you take away the curtain, they're just trying to help. What sort of Spurs fan am I when I'm trying to help the ops? Can you imagine that? I'm helping the ops here. I'm not sure that Arsenal can finish above Villa. Can you imagine that? I'm not sure. I think Villa look more legit. Legitly.
Is this the same club you said that wouldn't be sat here at the end of September?
Billy, just take the compliment, man. All right? Receive it. Yeah?
Understood.
The truth is,
understood.
Villa looks like a team. Then Arsenal, LB, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at you. Am I waffling here?
I mean,
yes.
It could happen.
Don't look at
It's
our-
unlikely to happen. I don't think it will happen, but I mean, it could. It could happen.
Look, we've lost 2 games in 2024. I'm not going over the top saying Villa can finish above us now, but at the moment it's worrying, right? So we got to put it right, and the way we do that is by beating Shakhtar and Liverpool and going. Let me ask you then before I close with Villa and come to Billy. Lastly, Deji, you got Villa, you got Chelsea, you got Spurs. Don't tell me like where they're coming, but in who's gonna finish above who?
Dan, I take issue with what you've just done because I think you need to include Arsenal in that.
All right, go on then. Include Arsenal. I'll tell you what, let's do the whole panel. Let's include City as well. Come on, let's do it all.
But we don't need to include them. I'm just saying, after you lose this weekend, we're not talking about you challenging for the league. We're talking about you being involved in the top 4 battle with us. That's what I'm saying. So look,
okay, buddy.
My prediction was Plymouth top, Arsenal, Spurs, and I had Villa 4th, and I'm not changing from that. And Liverpool 5th.
Liverpool 5th.
Yep. See, you guys want to do the obvious. I'm not doing the obvious. When their blip comes, I think their blip is hard. A bit like last season when they could have won the league and they fell off hard. They fell from 1st to 3rd. I can see that happening to Liverpool again.
So Liverpool come 5th, Villa are going to come 4th, and Chelsea are coming 6th.
I mean, after 5th, I'm not involved.
Well, listen, it's going to be... Oh, you got to love Deji, man, I must say. Billy, what do you make of